She also came, right? We chant together. One, two, three. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Recap. What did we discuss in our previous session about the creation? What did we talk about? Nobody remembers? We talk about the forgetfulness also. So you remember about the forgetfulness. So yeah, we said, that Brahmaji, when he created, first he created, broadly speaking, the creation was in three different levels. Upper planetary system, middle and the lower. According to the three gunas, right? What are the three gunas? Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So upper planetary system, predominantly they are influenced by the Sattva guna. Middle one, mainly Rajoguna. And the lower one, mainly Tamoguna. But nobody and no place will be purely influenced by one guna. Always mixture. Combination and combination is always there. And then further division was 14 levels. Right? Earth is in the middle. Bhu Loka. Bhuva Swaha. Then I think Mahar, Gnana, Tapa and Satya. Satya Loka is Brahma Loka, topmost. So 6 lokas above the earth level, Bhu level, and 7 Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. So those are the 7 lower planetary systems. So now see, a little bit I want to discuss with you about how precisely the things are mentioned in our scriptures. When we do yagna, so mostly in all samskaras, yagna is required. 16 broad samskaras, yagna is required. So when we do yagna, so most of these yagnas, one section is called Udicha Karma, in which we call Vyatri Homa. So part of Gayatri is chanted, starting with Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha. So when we say Om Bhu Swaha, then we say Idam Vishnave Idam Namama. So that means Lord Vishnu is the one who protects the residents on the earth planet. He is a protector and he is a provider. That's why we say Idam Vishnave Idam Namama. Then Om Bhuva Swaha, the space between the earth and the Swargaloka. So that area is occupied mainly by very negative people, Pishachas, Rakshasas, demons. So those people, they occupy that place. And they cause the falling of the Devatas from Swargaloka. So to protect the Devatas from falling off, Achyuta is worshipped. Vishnu's one form, Achyuta, who doesn't fall. Chuta means who falls, and Achyuta means who doesn't fall, and who actually protects others also from falling. So when we say Om Bhuva Swaha, then we say Idam Achyutaya Idam Namama. And then when next we say Swarga, Om Swaswaha, So Swarga Loka, the demigods, whenever there is any calamity on demigods, misery they face, they go to the Sheet Sagara, the shore of the ocean of milk, and they pray to Lord Vishnu. And they offer uh, what's the Strota called? They offer special prayers to Lord Vishnu. So Swarga Loka residents, they pray to Lord Vishnu, and that is called Om Bhu Swaha, Bhuva Swaha, Om Swa Swaha, Idam Narayanaya Idam Namama. They worship Lord Narayan. They pray to Lord Narayan. And all combined together, Om Bhu Swaha, Bhuva Swaha, Swa Swaha, Idam Anantaya Idam Namama. Because all these planetary system, they are resting on the hoots of Anantashesh. So see how precisely the shlokas are formulated, how the formulation is done. Very precise. And this is the beauty of our Vedic literature. Everything is systematically done in a proper structured form. Because each area, each sphere is ruled by personal form of the Lord and specific form of the Lord. And that specific form of the Lord is worship. Even when we do yagna, when we invoke the Agni Dev, particular form of the Agni Dev is invoked. Not only one Agni Dev. Depending on what kind of samskara, what kind of ceremony we are doing. Like when we do naming ceremony. So naming ceremony is done for the temporary body, not for the soul. Right? So the name is given to the body, not to the soul. So the body is parthiv, temporary. We say parthiv sharir, right? Temporary body. So the Agni Dev who is invited for the naming ceremony when we do the yagna, so that Agni Dev's name is Parthiv Agni Dev. Parthiv. Parthiv. Hmm. Sorry? Depending on the ceremony, broadly speaking, I think there are 7. Broadly speaking. Yeah. So like when we do wedding ceremony, Vivaha Samskara, Yojaka Agni Dev. Because that is meant for union of 2 individuals. So Yojaka Agni Dev. So depending on the ceremony. Yeah, of course, different. That I need to check. That I need to check. Yeah, of course, specific name of the Agni Dev. Yeah. And when Havan is done only for, getting the blessings, in enhancing the auspiciousness, Mangala Agni Dev. That's common. Mangala Agni Dev. Yeah, our scriptures are very detailed, and very precise. So Lord Brahma created in that way. 6 planetary system above the earth level, 7 below the earth level. And then I think I mentioned, if you remember, initially the entities, the living beings who were created, they were very negative. Right? I gave you an example, analogy, if someone remembers. Relating to our modern life, I give you one example. To give you more clue, I give you example of Bollywood movies. What happens in Bollywood movies? So initially the bad character comes, right? Villain comes and then the hero comes, right? Otherwise we don't appreciate hero also, no? Right? So same way it is said, frustration, anger, deception, these kind of vices were produced, and Brahma felt very disgusted. Very, very disgusted. Now see, from this what we can learn, whenever we start our initiatives on the spiritual path, or any spiritual activity for that matter, we start any devotional activity, even simple chanting when we start, what kind of thoughts come in our mind?
What kind of
Thoughts come in our mind.
usually we turn towards God in the beginning when we have some sorrow. That's what pulls us to go towards. And then of course we enjoy the new feeling. So my experience has been when I'm in sorrow, I do become more devotional. So I suppose the thoughts you are asking would be remove my this sorrow, or I want to be out of it, or whatever, something of sorrow.
Correct, correct. Whatever is bothering us, because we want His help. That's why we chant. So mainly initially, whatever misery is there, whatever trouble is there, difficulty is there, we focus on that. Normally, mind will be focused on that. And then also, so many unnecessary thoughts will come. And many times you might have observed the thoughts which may not bother us otherwise, but they bother us more when we are chanting, when we are reading, when you are doing devotional service. Right? So these are unwanted things coming out. Cleansing happens at that time. So unwanted things come out. I'm not sure whether you have heard about it or read about it. In India, in olden times, some places till now in the villages they have big tanks in which they store different grains, and they have different sections. So they have a kind of a tap, opening at the bottom. So when the tap is open, so whichever grain is stored at the bottom, that only will come out first, right? Correct. So same thing happens with our mind. Whatever is stored for so many millions of lifetimes, so many unwanted, unnecessary thoughts. When we do the devotional service, those things will come out first. We won't be so much ecstatic. We love chanting so much, then we have ecstasy. Generally, it doesn't happen so easily. Yes, sometimes, Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, reciprocates with us and makes us experience that kind of ecstasy. For just for a moment, we may experience that. To give us that glimpse that, why are you rotting here? Why are you wasting your time in this material world? If you want to continuously experience this kind of ecstasy, you come to me. But most of the time, these unnecessary thoughts will come, will keep on bothering us. So, what is stored, that will come out. So, in Brahma's case also, because it was not the first time Brahma was creating these things, this creation has happened before also, many times. Since time immemorial, the whole procedure is going on. So, when he felt disgusted, he gave up. And one of the things, some of you may feel a bit strange about this. One of the category of the living beings Brahma created, they were homosexuals. That means that kind of category also has been there since time immemorial. Now in Kali Yuga they are more prominent, but they have been there. Because when those living beings were produced by Brahma, when they saw Brahma, they got attracted to Brahma. And they wanted to enjoy with Brahma. Brahma got scared, he ran. He said, I'm your father, what kind of thoughts you're having. So these kind of living beings had been there since time immemorial. So see, from this we can understand, because the particular term given to this kind of group of people, they are demons. Now we cannot dare to call any such person as a demon. We can be sued, because they have rights, right? Homosexuals, they have rights, their own rights. But they are in that category. It's demoniac kind of mindset, mentality. It's not like a sober person's mentality.
Not a pure relationship, is that right?
Sorry?
It's not pure.
It's not pure.
So it can be changed.
Yes, it can be changed.
Because you're actually being attracted to something higher. You know, it is, you're attracted to Brahma.
Yeah, see, the attraction also depends what is the motive behind that attraction. Now, we get attracted to Krishna also, right? Now, if our motive behind attraction is to serve him, That's devotion. But our motive behind attraction, that we want Krishna to fulfill our desire, that is material. So that is not bhakti. That is swarth, selfish motive, right? So what you said, it can be changed. Monaji, what she asked, it can be changed. I share with him a personal experience. Long time ago, two Chinese young ladies, they came separately. Later on, the second one who came, from that I found out that actually they were partners, lesbians. So the second one who came, then I told her actually she was having so many health issues. I said, because of this, you are having very unnatural relationship. So I did some sessions for her because her second chakra was very messed up, and because of that, these kind of things happen. So after that, when her health improved, then she told her partner, "I want to find a boyfriend. I don't want to." The other lady, because when she found out, in those days we did not have mobile phone, but she called my landline, spoke to me. She was so angry with me. You caused separation, for me, from my partner, my lover, and all that. So I told her, if you really love her, let her go. What is good for her? So yes, it can be changed. Sometimes, it is due to some uh, kind of biological imbalance or chakra level imbalance. So those kind of things happen. Then those things are called temporary. But in Ayurveda, that is mentioned. See, from this, what you are mentioning so much in detail, things are mentioned in your scriptures. At the time of union of man and woman, if the fluid from both partners, the quantity is equal, that can give rise to such progeny. If the men's side the fluid is more, then the male child can be born. If the female child the fluid is more, then the girl can be born. But if it is equal proportion, then it is highly possible. The Of course, the gender may be different, but the mindset will be like that. So that's why, to kind of have different proportion of the fluid, different kind of diet is recommended for man and woman. And that also depending on this, in personal experience I've seen, if the couple wants to have a male child, then what kind of specific diet a man should have is given. And a female child is the girl, they have desire of having a girl, then woman should have specific kind of diet. So it works. It works. Yeah, so coming back to this point, so these kind of progeny, these kind of different type of living beings, they have been produced since time immemorial. It's not something new. So whatever we are seeing, we are, because we have not read the scriptures, so when we see these kind of situations and these kind of people, we get surprised, we get shocked. But there is nothing shocking. Nothing shocking.
So, just what you are saying, nothing is new, nothing is shocking. I have heard before, whatever, if you see, watch the whole Mahabharata, whatever is in Mahabharata, it's what we have today. And whatever is not in Mahabharata, it doesn't exist. For example, you're saying homosexual, it's in Mahabharata. Having a child before marriage, we think it's a new thing, but it's in Mahabharata. Homosexual, lesbian, everything is in Mahabharata. So surprising, we think that.
Correct, correct. Those things are there, but again, I want to say, like the Ataji said, the motive behind. The consequences may be similar what we see now, but the cause is different. Like, for example, you mentioned about having a child before marriage, like Mother Kunti had, Karna. So it was not a lusty desire. So the motive is different. She just wanted to examine the potency of the mantra Durvasa Rishi had given her. So she was not lustful. She wanted to enjoy. But nowadays, yes, the cause is different. Consequence may look the same, but the cause is different because of Kali Yuga, because people are degraded now. And at that time also, why her son was called Karna? Why was he called Karna? Does anyone know? Huh? No.
वो तो सूर्य का पुत्र था, but I
The
don't
sun
know
god,
what
yes, sun
Karan has
god.
to do with
And that also was not because of the physical union between them. No.
No.
It was a blessing. That boy was born from her ear, Karna. So that's why his name was Karna. And Lord, when Surya Dev came, so Kunti mother said, no, please forgive me. I just wanted to test. Sun God said, this mantra, the effect of mantras cannot go in vain. I'll give you a job. But she said, I'm not married. So Sun God said, your virginity will not be affected. You will still remain virgin. So I bless you that you will get a son, but it will be born from your Karna, your ear. So your virginity will not be damaged, affected. You will still remain a virgin. So that was purity that time. So in Kali Yuga, things are degraded. So as I said, the consequences may look similar, but the cause, motive, intention is different. So we cannot say, oh, before also it was happening, now also it was happening. Yes, those things were happening, but we need to see the situation. We need to see the things in context, not out of context. Am I making sense here? So yeah, so coming back to that, so then after that, Brahma gave up that body because this negative entities were born, and then he started producing good progeny. 4 Kumaras he produced. So when he told them to get married and increase population, they did not want to get married. Right? I said something about this. What did I say? Sorry?
I don't remember.
I said because they were intelligent, they did not want to get married.
They already knew, but it's true, right? They knew so much, they were so knowledgeable, that's why they didn't want to get.
And particular word which is used in the Bhagavatam for them, they were Urdhva Reta. Urdhva means going upward. Reta, the vital fluid. So that was flowing upwards, not downwards. So they had full control on their desire. We don't have control on our desire. Or they may have no control on the desire, but they knew how to handle the desires because of being Urdhvareta. And we are not Urdhvareta. So, whatever temptations comes, desires come, we don't know how to handle them. We succumb to those things easily. And then we face the consequences, which are not palatable generally. So because they were Urdhvareta, they did not want to get married. And Brahma got really angry. They did not obey Brahma's instructions, so he got very angry. Then he frowned, and from between his eyebrows, Rudra appeared. The mixed complexion, reddish and bluish. So when that child appeared, it was Lord Shiva's expansion. Started crying, Rudan. So because of that, Brahma called him Rudra. And 11 Rudras manifested from him originally. And then Brahma found the counterpart also, like Uma, Shakti, and all that. That Lord Rudra got married. So initially, he also produced the progeny which was not so good. So then Rudra also was disappointed in what kind of progeny is that. They were not exactly demons, but not looking nice also. Ganas. So then Brahma instructed him also that you are my son. Like I also did the austerity before starting the job of creation, you also do the austerity. So Lord Shiva left and started doing austerity in the forest. And Brahma produced Narada Muni also. Narada Muni is Brahma's son. Do you know the previous previous lifetime of Narada Muni? Who was he? Of a maid servant. And before that, Gandharva. He was a Gandharva before. Gandharva, they are blessed with a good voice, good singers, musical instruments they can play in a very mesmerizing way. So he was a Gandharva. And Narada Muni himself, told about his previous lives to Vyasadeva, his disciple, when he was telling him about the significance of Bhagavatam and significance of association with saintly people. So he said he was Gandharva in his previous life, and he was so proud of his voice, his beauty, and always surrounded by women. Because he used to sing very beautifully, uh, so women would get attracted. Apsaras, not ordinary women, Apsaras, surrounded by Apsaras. So when he left that body, then he was born. Actually, it was due to a curse. He had to leave that body. Devatas, Gandharvas who are in the upper planetary system, above the Bhuva Loka, Swarga Loka, so they don't die. They are immortal in a way. Once their duration of pious activities or the account of pious activities is over, they fall down, they come to the earth planet, Mrityu Loka. Or they are cursed by the sages. Just one incident I want to share with you. Lord Indra was cursed once, by a sage. For a certain time, the sage told him to be born as a pig, a boar, on the earth planet for a certain duration of time. I want to share with you the whole thing, then you tell me, what you understand from this example, which is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. So when his duration was over, he did not want to go back to Swargaloka. Brahma came down and Brahma told him, you are supposed to be the king of the heavenly planets. Go back there. He said no. Brahma said that, in Swargaloka, you will be surrounded by so many demigods, apsaras and all that. He said, I have beautiful wife here, beautiful children, nice food I eat. Why should I go to Swargaloka? Now, what kind of...
He was a pig.
Sorry?
When he was a pig, a boar.
Yeah. What kind of food pigs eat? But he enjoyed it. He said, I get a nice food. Why should I go to Swargaloka? So Brahma put some water from his kamandal. Then he came to his consciousness. Then he left. So what do you understand from this example?
But I understand is that we are so enjoying this world that we don't want to.
You don't even want to go to heaven.
Yeah. We don't want to.
Really? You don't want to go to heaven?
No.
We don't want to upgrade ourselves
in the material world.
We are so
We are attached to the, the wild.
miseries of the world, but we enjoying it.
So whatever activities we are doing, we become attached to those activities, right? And then we don't want the change. Even the change may be for betterment, right? This is because of our conditioning. Our mind gets conditioned, so used to it, then we don't want to change. And not only the mind, our intelligence also is covered. And because of that, we don't realize, we don't understand what is better for us.
How to bring that change?
Yes, by reading from the scriptures, hearing about the scriptures, and associating with saintly people. People whose consciousness is more purified than ours. So when we associate with highly elevated people, then by their association, we can upgrade ourselves. In schools, I don't know how the system here in Hong Kong, but in our primary school days, we have seen that the students who are poor in studies, they would be sit between two intelligent students so that they can learn from them, right? So that's the way. Spiritually also, if we want to advance, we need to keep associating with people who are more spiritually advanced than us. Then by associating with them, discussing with them, hearing from them, we can learn. Then we can also get elevated, uplifted. Then we get motivation also to put our efforts continuously to maintain that persistency, to hold on to that motivation. Continuous association is necessary. On our own, we cannot do it because our mind can be very fickle. It can change very quickly, and then we feel lazy. Right? What's the definition of laziness? In one of the sessions, we talked about it when we were talking about the conversation between Maharaj Yudhishthira and the Yaksha. So Yaksha asked them this particular question: how do you define laziness? Sorry? Too comfortable? Not doing any? Yes. Now see, depending on from what perspective the person sees, he will define laziness. Correct? When parents see children, they are not studying, they will say children are lazy. Right? When a woman sees her husband doesn't go out to work and all that, he say my husband is lazy. A woman doesn't cook meals at home, men will say my wife is lazy. So depending on what perspective, from what perspective you are seeing, right? So our perception is very limited. Perspective is very limited.
Anyone who's not doing their dharma, they're lazy.
That's the word. That's what Maharaj Yudhishthira said. Now dharma also, according to our constitutional character, what we are supposed to do. Maharaj Yudhishthira did not tell him that, children, they are lazy if they don't go to school. Women, they are lazy if they are not cooking at home. Something like, no, he said that people, if they do not perform their occupational constitutional duty, they are lazy. The meaning of dharma is that the activity which can help us to hold our existence, dharan, to hold our existence. So that's dharma. Not dharma does not mean religion. Religion, is very limited meaning given, English translation given. Dharma does not mean religion.
Not the full meaning of
Yeah. It's constitutional duty. And our constitutional duty is to serve the Supreme Lord so that we can get that original constitutional body, spiritual body. Then we don't have to go through this change from birth to old age and then death. No more change. So when we are able to do those activities, those are called actual dharma, then we are not lazy. But if you are avoiding those activities, then we are lazy. Now that doesn't mean that whatever activities we are supposed to do in the material world, whatever obligations we are supposed to fulfill, responsibilities we have fulfilled in the material world, we should avoid, we should neglect. No, we have to find the balance. Running away from our responsibility is not recommended. Krishna told Arjuna, don't run away from the battlefield, you fight. Do your dharma. At that time, it was his dharma. Keep me in mind. He told Arjuna, keep me in mind. Keep on doing material activities, but always remembering me. Then I will free you from the sin. Otherwise, if we just do the activities for our personal enjoyment, personal satisfaction, those activities, even apparently they may look like bhakti, but they are not bhakti. They can be binding. So the goal is, to satisfy him, satisfy the person who has given us satisfaction and ability to feel the satisfaction, who has given us the senses to feel happy, right? And that ability also to feel satisfied. So we need to do the work for his satisfaction, not for our satisfaction. When our goal is higher, if anything we do for his satisfaction, then automatically our soul also will be satisfied. If the Supreme Spirit is satisfied, then our minute spirit also will be satisfied. Right? I think in one of the sessions I gave you example. If our goal is higher, then the other things, those are secondary, they will automatically come. Like for supposing, from Chimsachi, if we take a train to go to Central, our destination is Central. Admiralty will come on the way. We cannot avoid it. Right? So other things, what we have, we are that wish to acquire, they will automatically come sooner or later. And actually it is seen, telling you from a personal experience and experience from other devotees. When any kind of material desire person does the endeavor to fulfill, it takes very long time to fulfill that desire. But when person starts following the devotional path, those desires can be fulfilled easily. And Krishna sometimes does that to test the devotee, whether he is getting distracted by those material objects and subjects, or just he is continuously moving towards me. So we need to pass that test. So extra endeavor is not required for the material objects. They will come sooner or later. And sometimes Krishna holds back, even though according to our destiny we may be able to, we are supposed to get particular thing at particular time, but sometimes Krishna holds back to kind of intensify our devotion for him. It becomes very intense then. What they say, you're holding a cup of drink in your hand, and the distance between the lip and the cup is not much, but sometimes it takes very long time, right?
What movie?
Huh?
What movie में यही बोला था, यही message.
Acha, okay.
Nobody remembers.
Yeah. So the point I wanted to make here, that laziness we were talking about, our occupational duty we have to do, constitutionally, spiritually, what we are supposed to do, we need to remember and then keep on doing that. So Narada Muni, he was saying that. So when he was cursed, then he was born as the son of a maidservant. So his mother used to serve the sages in the forest. So whatever the balance of food would be remaining on the plates, the patal, uh, leaf plates, she would clear up, collect it, and she would eat and she would feed her son, was Narada Muni, in the previous life. So when he was still quite young, 8, 9 years old, because of a snake bite, his mother also died. So the sages told him, just take it as a blessing in disguise. He said, how can I take it blessing? My mother died, it's like a curse. Sages said, no. Now, you have more time. You become more self-dependent, you have more time, you meditate on Lord Vishnu. So Narada Muni learned from them meditation. When he was meditating, then Chaturabhuj form of Lord Vishnu appeared in his mind. He felt so ecstatic, so blissful. He never experienced that kind of bliss before. But that image, that form immediately disappeared. So Narada Muni started crying, praying, please show me that again. Then the celestial sound, Akashvani, happened, that you will not be able to see this form again in this lifetime. But I bless you, when you will be born again, you will always remember me. And whenever you would want to, not only in the meditation form, in the subtle way, but not only virtually, but physically also, if you want to see, anytime you can come and see me. Then he was born as a Brahma's son, Narada Muni. So Narada Muni does not have any restriction. Anytime he can walk in Vaikuntha planet and see Lord Narayan. Anytime. He doesn't need any passport or visa.
Anytime and anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm saying he can go to Vaikuntha planet anytime.
Anywhere and
He can go to anywhere, yes. Unfortunately, I was saying, when we were talking something about Narada Muni, unfortunately, in our Bollywood movies, the image they presented is very degrading, very, very offensive. It's a big sin.
even साधु संत को भी इतना गंदा काम दिखाते हैं बॉलीवुड में.
But you see, I'm not sure whether you have observed that, but some parts I've observed, some movie directors, producers who portrayed Narada Muni in that way, like a joker or something, they had very miserable life. Of course, at that time they made the money, but later on, very miserable life. Their end was very, very bad, very miserable. Krishna can tolerate if someone insults him, but he cannot tolerate if someone insults his devotee. Like parents also, right? Parents will take offenses of others, but if somebody often, cause problem for the children, parents will object immediately, protect. So Krishna is like that. His devotee is like his children. So anyone becomes offensive towards his devotee, Krishna cannot tolerate that. Like this also will come later in the Bhagavatam, but since we are talking about it, have you heard of Durvasa Muni? Great sage, right? He is known for his anger. He gets angry very easily.
He curses so many people.
Yes. He has cursed also and he is blessed also. Like Mother Kunti. He gave her that mantra, and because of that, Pandavas were born, right? Because he could see the future. So once he visited Ambrish Maharaj on Dwadashi day in the morning. So Ambrish Maharaj had observed Ekadashi on the previous day. On Dwadashi day, he was supposed to break fast during that period, particular period. That also is very significant, to break fast on Dwadashi day during particular period. Yes. So at that time, Durvasa Muni visited him. So Durvasa Muni told him, I am going to take bath in the river. You make preparations for my prasad. So Durvasa Muni took longer time than expected. And now Amrisha Maharaj saw that, that time was going to get over. And if he did not break fast, then his vrata was gone. One of the reasons Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, they lost their 100 sons on the battlefield. It is mentioned one of the reasons was Gandhari did not break fast on Dwadashi day at particular time. So at that time, it was considered as a big offense. In Kali Yuga, very lenient.
They mentioned that if you miss the dwar of that Parana time, then you have to wait for something to get over, then you can take your fast.
Generally, yes, generally, yes. And see, if you miss that point also, generally it is said up to 12 noon, you can break. And if you miss that, then like next month, it will be Pandava Ekadashi. So generally it is said then, during Pandava Ekadashi, you do full fast. Don't even drink water.
The
Nirjal.
Nirjal is coming.
Nirjal.
Yes, Nirjala Ekadashi. It's Bhima Ekadashi. Right?
You do that, then you don't have to do the other 23.
So that the point I want to make, that in the previous yugas, these kind of mistakes were considered as big offenses. Big offenses. In Kali Yuga, very lenient. So coming back to this point, so Amrisha Maharaj, he saw that, that time was going to get over for his breakfast. So he asked his guru, what should I do? So his guru told him, you drink water. Drinking water also is considered as breaking fast. You're not eating grains, right? So it won't be considered as offense, because he was not, as a Kshatriya, he was supposed to feed the Brahmana first, Durvasa Muni first, before eating. If he would eat before feeding Durvasa Muni, that's an offense. So he was in dilemma what to do. So his guru told him, you drink water, then it won't be considered as offense. And Durvasa Muni would understand that. So when Durvasa Muni came and when he heard that he drank water without him being fed, he got very angry. He created a demon to go and kill Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj with folded hands, he was just chanting Krishna's name. Sudarshan Chakra came to rescue him. And the fire which was generated from the Sudarshan Chakra that burnt that demon was created by Durvasa Muni. Then the Sudarshan Chakra started chasing Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni went to different lokas, Shiva Loka, Brahma Loka, Indra Loka. They said, no, we cannot help you. Then he went to Vishnu Loka. He said, this is your weapon, Sudarshan. You tell him to calm down. Lord Vishnu said, you have offended my devotee. Go and ask for forgiveness from him, not from me. So Durvasa Muni went and fell at Amrish Maharaj's feet. Now Amrish Maharaj, a saintly person, immediately picked up Durvasa Muni. He fell at his feet. Said, don't do that. You're a Brahmana. How could you do that? So when Amrish Maharaj hugged him, then Sudarshan Chakra calmed down. So Lord Vishnu cannot tolerate any offense if someone commits any offense to his devotee. So in the previous yugas, these kind of vratas and all that, there were very strict rules and regulations to be followed. In Kali Yuga, it is very lenient. Very lenient. Nowadays, many people in spiritual life also, they don't observe these things. Actually, they should, but unfortunately, they don't. Ekadashi Vrat and all these different fasts, they don't observe. So, we were talking about Narada Muni was produced by Lord Brahma. And then Brahma created Prajapatis. Have you heard of the name Daksha? What do you know about him?
Father,
No, Sati's father.
Sati's son. Sati's father. Sorry, Sati's father.
I think mix up between Sati and Parvati. Same or no?
Same but different life, different form. First was Sati.
First was Sati, then Parvati was another Janam. Next
Sati
life.
burnt herself in the Yagna Kund in fire, and then in the next life she was born as Parvati, Himalayas daughter.
So he is the father of Sati.
Hmm. Yeah, and father-in-law of
Shiva.
Shiva. But he was very envious of Shiva. Very, very envious of Shiva. So one was that. Now, what's the meaning of Daksha?
Thinking of 10. That's
No, not Das. Daksha.
The straw,
What you say? Sword.
straw.
Straw.
No, the blade of grass. Not that.
No.
He was,
That is Kusha.
he was born from the comes. Is it something related to that?
From Daksha, it comes Diksha also. Diksha is what? Initiation.
Yeah, knowledge, right?
Initiation. Dakshata means awareness. So from that Diksha comes, that means the person who takes shelter of any guru is expected to have that awareness, spiritual awareness. What is to be done, what is not to be done. So Daksha was supposed to be very aware person, very knowledgeable, but he was very bewildered. That's why I could not recognize the significance, the position of Lord Shiva. And because he insulted him, and then because of that insult, I'm just telling you briefly, later when it comes to that part, we can talk about this in detail. So Sati could not tolerate that. And then she jumped into the Havan Kund, burned herself. And then Lord Shiva sent Ganas to destroy the whole arena and all that. And Daksha was killed. His head was cut off. Then whose head was put on his body?
Both sides. He had
Yes.
ego, that's why the ego.
Correct. Correct. Yes. So one of the Prajapatis was Daksha. And then Lord Brahma produced Manu, Swayambhu Manu. And then from that, it is said, that human race started. That's why we are called Manav. Right? And one of Manu's daughter, her name was Devahuti. She was married to Kardama Muni.
Kapil beta पैदा हुआ.
Correct. Kardama Muni, not an ordinary person. Now, in the third canto, this incident and the incident of Hiranaksha, two brothers, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranaksha, Lord Varaha appeared, correct? Because in both these situations, earth was sent down all the way to the bottom of the ocean. So the first time when it was sent down, Varaha appeared. So that Varaha Dev is called Shweta Varaha, white complexion, like milk. So he went and with on his tusk, he brought the earth back. And second time he fought with Hiranaksha. So because he was fighting with Hiranaksha in the same boar incarnation, Varahadev. But because he was angry, his complexion became red. So that's called Rakta Varaha, like blood, red color. So this Kalpa, we call it, is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. In Brahma's day, different Kalpas, different Manvantaras, Brahma's lifetime. So Manus also are different. In 12 hours of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So now the Manu is, his name is Vaivashvat Manvantara. When we do the Sankalpa, that time we say Vaivashvat Manvantare, Shvetavaraha Kalpe, Kali Prathama Sandhyaya. That's the way we do the Sankalpa. So Vaivashvat Manvantara. Now we talked about the lokas, Swarga Loka, then the Satya Loka, and then all the way Patala Loka. Even though in Patala Loka, the mode of ignorance is prominent, it has more influence on the living beings. But exceptionally, this time, at present, the Patala Loka is ruled by, you know who is the ruler now in Patala Loka? You know the Vamana Dev incarnation? Where did Lord Vamana go back for the 3 steps of land? What's the name of the king?
In Bali.
King Bali.
In what?
Bali.
Bali.
So he could not fulfill the promise of giving 3 steps of land to Vamana Dev. Only 2 steps, the whole thing was covered. So then Vamana Dev pushed him, putting his foot to Patala Loka. But because he offered very nice prayers, Bali Maharaj offered very nice prayers, he and his wife, Vamana Dev was very pleased. And he told him that you will never forget me. Though you will be in the Patala Loka, where mode of ignorance is so strong, other people may forget the Lord due to the mode of ignorance, influence of mode of ignorance. But he told Bali Maharaj that you will never forget me. And I will protect your planet. And I will make your planet. Normally, Patala Loka is horrible. Horrible. But because of the presence of Bali Maharaj, it is that it is more opulent and more beautiful than Indraloka. So not only that, Vamanadev did not stop giving the boons and blessings to Bali Maharaj. He told him, now in this Manvantara, you will stay in Patala Loka and you will always remember me, and my Sudarshan Chakra will protect the whole planet. Though there won't be any sun planet, in the lower planetary system there is no sunshine. Yeah, but he said my Sudarshan Chakra will brighten your whole planet. And then he told him that after your term is over and after the term of that Indra, who is in the Swarga Loka, is over, then you will be promoted, you will become Indra. So in the next Manvantara, that Bali Maharaj will become Indra. Now see what kind of blessings.
1,000 years pass so that he can be promoted.
Yeah.
1,000
Millions of years. Yeah. But millions of years also, as long as he is in the Patala Loka, his life won't be miserable because he is a devotee. by God, by Krishna's blessings, Vamanadeva's blessing, he always will remain devotee.
So these kind of stories,
These are not stories, these are histories.
so a lot of people say, oh, these talking and ignorant, I've heard argument, these are stories. We can't believe them. These are like, that's why it's called mythology. So it's a myth. And so, because they are so different, so strange from the normal world we see, like war, life, and then patalok, and all these things, the ordinary people have not heard, and they take it as a myth. They refuse to believe in these things, and they story for kids.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate situation we are in.
They're
Because we have been
story for kids.
brainwashed.
Huh?
Most of us, we have been brainwashed by the so-called modern education. So we think, that what is mentioned in the scriptures, that is aggressive. And many of the things are superstitious, but they are not. They are not superstitious things. They are very scientific. Now we say, because we don't realize that we are living abnormal life. The characters which are mentioned in the scriptures, those characters are very normal. But because our perception, our intelligence is limited, we cannot perceive beyond certain limit. So our ego is very strong. So we don't want to accept our limitation. Whatever we cannot perceive, whatever we cannot understand, whatever we cannot digest mentally, we say, oh, it cannot be possible. We completely shut our doors. And that's our mistake, because of our ego. Instead of accepting, sorry, I cannot understand beyond this, that's my limitation. It may be true, right? In the court of law, they use this word, benefit of doubt. But that they don't apply when it comes to scriptures, right? Even doubtfully also, they will not accept, because the ego is very strong.
The ignorance is too strong.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether you I think at your place also I discussed this. See, I'm just trying to share with you, because you raised this point. So many things which are mentioned in the scriptures beyond our perception, beyond our conception. We cannot conceive them, because our boundaries are very limited, right? Most of you have heard Satyanarayana Katha, right? In the 5th chapter, it is mentioned about the king. His 100 sons died, right? Then the king came back from the forest. He put the prasad, little bit prasad. They became alive, right? How can it be possible? You remember that?
I heard it that day also.
So I was sharing that day also on Sunday in the temple, that at the time of death, 9 types of air leave the body. The soul, our ego, intelligence, mind, senses, and 9 types of air leave the body. Only 1 type of air still remains within the body. Very precise duration is mentioned, 3 hours and 48 minutes. That air still remains in the body. And because the air is there, air generates energy. Right? It gives energy. So the energy is still maintained in the organs of the body of the dead person. That's why within that duration, any organ is removed from the body that can be reused for the living person. Right? People donate their eyes, right?
Yeah.
Scientists also, they accepted within 3 hours, if any organ is taken out, it can be transplanted, reused for another person, living person. So the king, when he went to the forest, asked for forgiveness, brought the prasad, put the grains in the mouth of his sons. That air was still there. And the prasad, which is made from the grains, mainly wheat, that's earth element. And earth element has stabilizing effect, particularly on the air, right? So because of that, that Dhananjay air got stabilized, could not leave the body. And that Dhananjay air attracted the other 9 types of air, and with those types of air, The senses, mind, intelligence, ego, and soul, everything came back. And the boys became alive again. It's nothing kind of superstitious or miracle or mystical. Yes, apparently, if we don't understand the logic, science behind it, we say. And out of respect, people, they just read it and they just say, oh, it's mentioned in Katha, so we just read it, but we don't believe this kind of things happen. But these kind of things happen. Even in the 3rd chapter, it is mentioned about Sadhu. He did not have any child, right? So by Krishna's mercy, Vishnu's mercy, he got the child. But it is mentioned people who do Satyan Katha Vrat, the chances of having a child increases. Now how? That also scientifically proven. Because when they fast, willingly, not starving, willingly they are fasting. So the fire which is conserved because of not supplying any food items to the stomach, that fire will start burning the toxic matter in the body. Toxic matter makes the vital fluid very acidic. When the vital fluid, whether it's men's or women's, becomes acidic, the potency is less. So when that acidity, excess acidity is removed, it becomes more alkaline, then the productivity is much more. And after that, when they have the prasad, mainly again made from wheat flour, the living beings, they come from the sky, from the other lokas through the raindrops, and they take shelter of the food items, grains and plants. So when the couples they eat, then that prasad can multiply the production of sperms and eggs. Conception can be possible. Nothing magical. It's scientific.
I have heard, I have to talk for myself. I only have 2 daughters. I don't have a son. I read somewhere the man, if he suffers from acidity, or somebody who suffers from acidity, chances of having a boy is less. So it's confirmed. You are confirming it's true, huh? Okay. That's why I don't have a boy. I only have 2 girls.
Not only the acidity, as I said, the fluid, if a woman's fluid is more, then baby girl is born. Yeah. What's the time now?
All these things are mentioned in where? In Ayurveda or in Bhagavatam or all these things?
Yeah, these things are mentioned about the scientific part, what I discussed with you. These things are mentioned in Ayurveda. Yeah. So Vedas also, that of course, different information is given, but the different information is not contradictory. It's supplementary. They supplement each other. They complement each other. They don't contradict. Yeah. What's the time you say?
8:18.
Okay. So thank you very much for your rapt attention.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry.
No problem.
Not from Bhagavatam. I am constantly in my life watching Mahabharata. I don't have mentioned many times. Constantly. I watched 10 times. So right now I'm at the episode on TV that Draupadi marries 5 men, and it is because you mentioned Dhruvasa, that's why my memory came back. It is Dhruvasa, Rishi Dhruvasa,
Durvasa,
who mentioned, who told them that make this your life as a tapasya to marry the 5 kings. So I'm just verifying, is it true? Because cereal, some masala is there or what? Or is it true as per you?
No, what's your point?
So
Durvasa
my
told
question,
Draupadi.
is it true? Because you mentioned Dhruvasa,
Yeah.
Rishi Dhruvasa, and they are saying in this serial that it is Rishi Dhruvasa who convinced Draupadi and the Pandav that yes, you should marry, the 5 of you marry or something. That's what in the serial says.
No,
So
I don't know who is the producer director of the serial.
no, that's why I'm saying I just heard it 2 days ago. So you were talking about Rishi Dhruvasa. Is it true or is it what? Or?
No. Durvasa was not in that part of the Mahabharata. Durvasa was that Kunti, Mother Kunti. She got the mantra from Durvasa Muni. So, but not here.
So who told them that can marry 5? Is it very
See,
depth.
one of the things it is
Yeah.
mentioned in the previous live,
Yeah.
Draupadi, she did tapasya of Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
And she asked Lord Shiva that I should get a husband who is having these qualities.
Yeah. That five desires make her marry. But in the life that she married the five Pandava, how she got convinced that okay, I can marry, should marry the five. That's my question.
She was convinced by Lord Krishna.
Huh?
Lord Krishna convinced her, and even Draupad. Draupad also was, it was unimaginable for him.
Yeah.
But Draupad's guru, he convinced King Draupad that you should get your daughter married to these five Pandavas.
Okay. So was it the guru of Draupad, Durvasa?
No.
Some other.
No. See, I think in one of the sessions I said, there are so many different kind of versions now.
Yeah.
Different people are producing Mahabharata and all that.
Yeah.
The original Mahabharata was written by Vyasadeva in Dwapar Yuga. So I say in Dwapar Yuga there was one Vyasadeva. In Kali Yuga we have so many Vyasadevas.
That's why
Each one has their own version.
Huh? Say
best
louder,
to
louder.
read- It's best to read instead of watching the series. The series is not necessarily
Yeah.
complete.
Agree. I agree. But I find it easier to watch than read. I'm not into reading.
See, because these kind of serials, of course, they use the epics or scriptures, but their main motive is to entertain people,
Correct.
not to educate people. Yeah, I think in one of the sessions I also mentioned one serial, Mahabharata serial, was produced by Sanjay Khan,
Yeah. ये वाली नहीं,
Feroz
ये
Khan's
वाली की
brother,
बात-
right?
ये वाली की बात कर रहे हैं, ये वाली सीरीज।
So Sanjay Khan, now he's a Muslim guy,
Yeah.
right? How much does he know about our scriptures, about our culture?
Yeah.
So a long time ago, when that was being telecast live during those days in mid 90s, I happened to be in Mumbai, so I saw one episode they were showing. Krishna is telling Draupadi, "Sorry, I cannot marry you because I have already 16,108 wives, but we can still remain boyfriend and girlfriend." This is Sanjay Khan's Mahabharata. Now see, youngsters who do not know about our culture, when they see, they will have that kind of concept, right? That Krishna and Draupadi had immoral relationship.
ISKCON has many features online that you speak about, or they show, like they'll show pictures and they'll be talking in the back. Maybe we can introduce someone who spoke to them about the Mahabharata, so she can watch and listen. Instead of watching the wrong thing.
Yes.
It would make more.
Correct.
It will help her more.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah, you can share that link
Yeah.
if you come across.
I've come across it many times because sometimes I listen to.
Yeah, I
instead of
understand.
Reading, I listen to whatever comes from ISKCON. Okay, it's easier to listen.
Correct.
than read
Correct.
sometimes.
Correct. See, one of the most popular link is ISKCON Desire Tree. Desire Tree.
Yeah. I'll put it on the chat so everybody can follow.
See, when we get the knowledge from the right source, that can help us to purify ourselves. If we get this information from a wrong channel, then it can be very contaminating. Now, people who have that kind of impression about Krishna and Draupadi, how offensive is that? Krishna considered Draupadi as his sister. That's why I gave the name Krishna. Draupadi is one of your names, Krishna, right? So how can they contaminate the relationship like that?
Draupadi was attracted to Krishna.
No.
Never.
Yes, attracted as a brother.
The
And she also knew that he's a supreme person. She was not an ordinary person. She also was a devotee.
She knew he is supreme. Correct.
Yes. Pandavas knew he's the supreme.
But Duryodhan didn't know.
Duryodhan did not want to accept. He used to insult him.
Yeah.
Because Pandavas, they knew about it, since we are talking about it. Once, when they were in the forest, Pandavas, they were in the forest. They were discussing, Draupadi also was discussing Maharaj Yudhishthira and all that. At that time, Krishna arrived. They were discussing, talking about the war and all that. So Maharaj Yudhishthira told Krishna that, the things, the way they are moving, he was feeling very anxious. So Krishna said, yes, you may be thinking about the war. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, yes. So Krishna said, I don't want war to happen. So Maharaj Yudhishthira told him that you are the supreme. How can something happen if you don't desire? How come such a thing happen if you don't want? You can stop it. Krishna said no. Because he told them that I cannot control people's free will. I do not want, but Duryodhana wants. Right? So I cannot control his free will. So Krishna does not interfere in people's free will. Even though if he doesn't want, he gave best example. He said, I did not want Draupadi to be disrobed. It happened. Right? So it was beyond my control. So Krishna doesn't intervene.
So Draupadi being disrobed also had something to do with her past life?
Of course. Of course. And see, when we do, now many times people they say that, that our bad karma can be reduced or nullified by doing good karma. It's not like that. But devotional service can help us to reduce the penalty of our previous bad karma. So yes, because of her previous bad karma, she was supposed to be disrobed. But because once when Krishna's finger got cut, she tore off her sari and tied. So this she did the devotional service. And her penalty got reduced, and Krishna himself protected her. So this is what Krishna does. He does not forget even simplest, minutest thing someone does for him. Even unintentionally also. Krishna always remembers that person. He feels obliged to that person. Even though the person may be very sinful.
So what is it that why she was disrobed? What is the thing she did in the past life?
That I also need to check. Sorry, I don't know at this moment.
I've never heard of.
When we send you the link, then you can find it there. I'm sure it's
she laughed at Duryodhana when he was fell in the water.
Yeah.
Is it only that?
Yeah, see, there are now in that aspect also there are different versions. Because the original part it is said in Mahabharata that Draupadi would never insult Duryodhana like that. Because she was not an ordinary person. She was a queen. And before becoming a queen, she was a princess, right? Draupadi's daughter. So she knew the code of conduct as a warrior's daughter, warrior's wife. If she had laughed at Duryodhana when he fell in the pond, so she was not laughing at him, she was laughing at her husband also, because Duryodhana was their guest. So she would not even for a moment would think insulting Duryodhana in this way. She did not laugh that way. So that's a detailed kind of explanation given.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
the
saying
thing, he got angry and
yeah, but you saying it didn't. No, masala.
And not only that, she could not even insult her father-in-law figure, Dhritarashtra, by telling Duryodhana, Antika Putra Andha. She would never do that. She was not such a cheap woman. Getting carried away by the emotions at that time. She was not an ordinary woman to do that. So this is a kind of a fault there. But most of us, we have read Mahabharata in that way. That she laughed at Duryodhana, and because of that, these things happen.
that's what we also think. I mean,
No. Just to conclude that, it is said because this thing was arranged by Krishna himself. So the war had to take place. One of the main reasons Krishna wanted the war to take place because he wanted to revive Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge which was a little bit subdued at that time. To revive it, he chose Arjuna as a candidate to receive that knowledge as a representative of the mankind. Because millions of years ago, he gave that knowledge to the sun god. Right? He was one. So because of that, revival was needed. That's why the whole thing happened. The war happened. But this, Draupadi laughing at Duryodhana and all that cannot be digested. Draupadi, a woman like Draupadi would not do that. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.